Teenage years, a time of transformation, growth, and often turbulence. It is a period filled with questions, doubts, and emotions running high for both teenagers and their parents. This phase can be overwhelming, and today we are diving into the major issues that arise during this time and exploring how modern concepts and ancient Indian wisdom can help in navigating these challenges. Communication gaps are one of the most common issues. Teenagers feel misunderstood while parents struggle to connect. Modern psychology emphasizes the importance of active listening and empathetic communication. But did you know that ancient Indian scriptures also highlight something? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna listens patiently to Arjun's doubts, guiding him with wisdom and compassion. As parents, it is crucial to create a safe space where your teenager feels heard, just as Arjuna did, and he could communicate in an open atmosphere without any bias and judgment. So, not being judgmental and not being critical are two important points which parents have to remember while communicating with their teenaged kids, as teenagers really are undergoing turmoil and their communication may falter. And that's where patience also adds up. Teenagers are on a quest to discover their identity. They push boundaries, seeking independence. Modern theories like Erik Erikson's stage of development suggest that this is the essential stage for personal growth. But how do parents manage and navigate this? It is very important for them to understand that here, they, being the guides like Krishna, allowing Arjun to make his own choices after offering guidance, it is very important. So, like Krishna, who guided but did not dictate Arjun, parents also have to offer their wisdom. They have to let their children explore the possibilities. They have to let their children have the freedom to explore their own identity and understand who they are, what is their calling. And this is where the trust which the parents rest in their children will be important, as it will give them the confidence, and their gentle guidance will motivate their children to become more confident. Academic pressure is another significant challenge. The modern world often equates success with grades, leading to stress for both parents and teens. As somebody said, can there be one teacher teaching all the subjects to bigger classes? If no, how do we think that the children would be easily able to master all the subjects? And that's where we have to go on to CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, as it teaches us to reframe negative thoughts. And how do we apply this? We apply this through the teachings of Gita, Bhagavad Gita again, where Bhagavad Gita talks about karmannayavadhikaraste ma phaleshu, which means we have to focus on our actions and not on the results. The problem is we are focusing on the results and we are not able to enjoy the process. So as a parent, you have to encourage your teenager to be their best, to do their best and put in their best work, understanding things with passion, be interested and not worry about the results, because it is not worth to waste their times onto worrying about what is going to be the outcome, because the outcome is the basis of what we did. So let's just focus on what they are doing instead of on what we want ultimately. Peer pressure. Peer pressure can lead to risky behaviors because we are wanting at the teenage to our peers to acknowledge us, to involve us. And this can lead to risky behaviors, from substance abuse to breaking rules And modern parenting strategies emphasize that open dialogue and setting clear boundaries helps. It is very important for the parents to discuss things with their children, to talk to them openly about the various elements of teenage, and also how peer pressure is something which should not be given into completely, because peers who really want the best, they will never be pushing them into directions. As we have to explain this to our kids that their peers are of the same age as they are, so they are no more intelligent than them. They are all navigating and moving through the same phase. So what their peers tell them to do may not be the best thing to do. So they need to reason out and understand, and don't give in to undue pressures. And for that, the parents will have to very calmly discuss what is the meaning of good company, as we call satsang, and encourage our teens to choose friends who uplift them instead of taking them down. At the same time, we have to discuss the consequences of their choices openly and not force our decisions, because they are smart enough and intelligent enough to look at things. And this is what even Krishna did in the battlefield with Arjun. Technology and social media are double-edged swords. They correct us, they connect us, but they can always distort reality and harm self-esteem. So it is very important to have digital detox and set limits. And the parents have to be instrumental in talking about self-control and mindfulness for themselves and for their teens too. Because self-control, if the parents are not administering, if they are themselves glued to the phones and they are not detoxing themselves, they will not be easily able to explain that to their children. So they'll have to encourage their teenagers to spend time in activities that nurture their minds and their spirit beyond the screen. Whether it is meditation, yoga, playing, following their passions, doing some activities like painting, dancing, singing, which can really make them connect to themselves. It is the duty of the parent for sure. Sexuality and relationships are sensitive topics, so we know. So we have to understand, even if they are sensitive, they have to be discussed, they have to be talked about. You can't just let your children be and then have their own doubts and elements of doubts without any answers. So it is important to early talk, which means it is important to have open conversations about consent and respect, to understand that relationships are founded on respect and mutual understanding, so that sexual education, so to say, or the guidance to the teenagers about relationships, on their values and how to approach relationships and how to respect the other person and also command respect for oneself. It is very important, and one has to understand the difference between just being in a relationship for the heck of it and really going for a relationship, because in today's world and time, teenagers think it is a fad to be in a relationship as it is a cool thing. So relationship today is more of a need. No, it is not a need. It is more of a fad. And the need cannot arise till you have really put yourself into a path of understanding your own self. So we will have to openly discuss their thoughts and lead to a consensus where they can always come back and talk more. Body image issues really take a toll. With media, that FOMO, fear of missing out, is even greater today. So the unrealistic standards are being made and the children fall a prey to it. And modern psychology does educate that parents have to talk about self-esteem, the building of self-esteem and positive attitude towards one's own self, and having self-acceptance will go miles. So You, as a parent, have to remind your teenager that true beauty lies within, as Krishna revealed to Arjun. It is that you have to have a journey of understanding yourself better instead of just looking at the outward appearance of yourself. Because if you are beautiful inside, and if you are at calm and rest and self-composed, you will be all the more beautiful outside. This is what we have to understand, we have to explain, and we have to make sure that we are following the same, because our children are watching us and observing us and even taking our behaviors. So if you yourself are practicing that, there is no reason why your children cannot practice that. Planning for the future can be very daunting. Modern concepts like growth mindset encourages teens to see challenges as opportunities, and it is very important for the parents also to understand that there are no set rules on to following careers, because today the career paths are umpteen. You just have to open your eyes and look at the bigger opportunities. So it is very important to understand, like Krishna, who guided Arjun through uncertainty and Arjun was completely in a confusion, the parents can also support their teens on exploring their passions and making informed decisions without fear. And parents will have to stand by their sides. They'll have to remind the children that it is a journey which is very important, and the destination will definitely arrive, but we can't lose our journey thinking about the destination. So both are important, and we'll have to focus on the way we are going ahead instead of just thinking or rather worrying about the destination. The teenage years are the time of great change, but with a lot of patience, understanding, wisdom, non-judgmental attitude and non-critical attitude, parents can really guide their children in a very big manner. The adolescents are undergoing challenges, and parents have to be the bearers of the light, like Krishna was for Arjun. So you have to be the guide of your child. You have to be the bearer of light. You have to offer them that direction rather than being pushy about it. Together, you can navigate this journey with love and understanding, and making a bond which will go on for the lifetime, and your kids would know that they could always come back to you and look for guidance, support, and even a shoulder who will not judge, who will be there always, supporting, smiling, and not criticizing.